Hey, yo, you mentees, this is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today for a double dosage of Deluxe Editions overviews. We have Berserk Volume 6 and Hellsing Volume 2 from Dark Horse Comics, so please stay tuned. And welcome back, everybody. We have the Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 6 right here, and the Hellsing Deluxe Edition Volume 2 right over here. Again, when I do these overviews, I tend to stay away from spoilers as much as I can, but I do have to show some of the artwork. And speaking of artwork, both of these books do come wrapped in plastic, and they both have their own insert. So Berserk, again, retailing for $49.99, same as Hellsing Volume 2, $49.99. So let's take a look at Berserk Volume 6 first. But before we do, we gotta do a comparison here. So here's what both books look like together. These are both deluxe editions, same height, Berserk being just a little bit wider. And then the backs with the ISBN number down there, those are just stickers, you can tear those off. And these are stickers here too, the little parental advisory. Those are definitely stickers. And I'm surprised that Hellsing didn't have one. Maybe it had one on its plastic before I unwrapped it, but it definitely needs one. Alright, let's get started now. So here we have Berserk Volume 6. We have black bookend pages, Berserk, and this collects these three tankobons. So these three, volumes 16, 17, and 18, will all be collected within this deluxe edition. And of course, the pages being completely oversized. And just like previous volumes, the book reads right to left. Here are the contents, where you can find each of the books. And then the more detailed table of contents within each of the three books, where you can find each of the chapters. So we're going to begin, or we're continuing the Conviction arc here. We have brand new characters that were introduced in the previous volume, like Lady Farnese, Serpico, and then Captain Azan, or Azan. But more importantly, there is another character that's introduced through these pages later on that becomes a big character in the world of Berserk. And I'll talk a little bit about that. But this is after the Golden Age arc. So Guts is now roaming the land by himself because of events that happened in the previous volumes. If you've not read them, do yourself a favor. Read the world's greatest manga. Just look at the violence. Look at the detail. Look at this amazing artwork. Oh my gosh, I love this book. And you know what? Here's something I haven't said, and I keep meaning to share this. Do you know how alone I felt reading Berserk or watching and talking about Berserk? Like 1998, 1999, 2000, I kept going on and on to my friends about this wonderful world called Berserk, and none of them knew what the hell I was talking about. Maybe one of them was like, oh yeah, I played that Dreamcast game, man, it sucked. And now I have so many of just my subscribers that are like, man, thank you so much for introducing me to this amazing work of art. Thank you so much. I can't wait to read about it. There's so many, like, Berserk is just blown up. And I'm not a hipster. I don't care if something that I love becomes popular and everybody knows about it. As a matter of fact, the more the merrier. The more people love about this, maybe Miura will, eventually get back to writing and drawing these instead of taking so many breaks. But whatever. Oh man, what an odd part to stop on. So there's a lot of sexual content in this. Again, a lot of violence. I don't need to tell you all. There's some really rough scenes in here. As a matter of fact, there's a couple parts with the fairies and the horse. I'm sure y'all have seen the memes, but I still don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But let me talk about this character right here that's with the Kushan, and that is Isidro. And Isidro becomes a big part of Guts' life during this event. So you're about to find out who this kid is. Now, whether you find him lovable or annoying, that's all up to you, but this is the chapter where he first appears, where Guts encounters the Kushan. And again, let me just show you the badassness that is Berserk, with these wonderful, beautiful splash pages of just death, gruesomeness, violence. Oh, I can't get enough of this world. The sound effects, by the way, are again translated within the panels. So if the sound effects are here written down, usually within the panels or underneath the panel is where the translations are. So there are no translations in the back. Now let's look in the back here. Oh, and the paper quality remains the same. It remains this matte format, with the exception of the covers. The covers are done in a glossy format. So There you go. There's Guts fighting Nosferatu Zod. And Berserk Deluxe Editions. Yes, give us more. Hellsing Deluxe Edition Volume 2. We have red bookend pages, title page, and of course the table of contents here. Now this one's a little interesting because this collects not only volumes 5, 6, and 7 of the Tankobon, but also part of volume 8. And there's only 10 volumes, so that probably means there's only going to be 3 deluxe editions. None of the covers have been collected. Well, actually, I'll get there. Let's talk about the book, though. What is it about Hellsing that I enjoy, and why is it this book is the one that turned me into a Hellsing fan? Okay, so the first volume of Hellsing, we're introduced to all these characters. We're introduced to Seras Victoria, we're introduced to Alucard, we're introduced to Sir Intega Fairbrook Wingates Hellsing. That is a mouthful, but that is her full name. Alexander Anderson, which is the priest from the Catholic Church. And then we're also introduced to Walter Dornez. Now, those are some of the few characters that we're introduced to in the first volume. I forgot that Rip Van Winkle also shows up in the first volume. Now, this volume here kicks it up a notch. Because in the first volume, we see Seras Victoria. She's just a police officer that gets bitten by the vampire Alucard, and now he becomes her master, and she becomes part vampire. And we really don't know his secrets, right? Other than, for some reason, he's fighting for these people here. Against, well, in this particular volume, he's fighting a bunch of Nazis and then some evil demonic figures. Now, we don't really know the full potential of Alucard, though. We don't know why he's fighting these people, why he's fighting for Sir Integra. We really don't know what drives him. There's no flashback or anything yet. That's about to change. And we also don't know the full potential of Seras Victoria. And I hate to spoil anything, but I feel like for those people that were bored with the first volume, this is the one that will hook you. And if this doesn't hook you, then this is not meant for you. Because not only does the story go to another level, but the artwork just goes to a brand new level. And it's a level of badassness and violence. And, oh man. So, yeah, we kick it off with the return of Rip Van Winkle fighting Alucard. Alucard turning all kinds of vampirish demonic. But then we get to the fight. Now, Alucard is only in this towards the very beginning and then towards the end of this volume. Then we get this huge chapter of Seras teaming up with this guy known as the Captain. Because during this time, the Catholic Church and Hellsing have teamed up to fight these Nazis. So that's what's going on. That's why we're fighting these people. Look at that. That's freaking awesome. All right. Let me show you some of the Seras Victoria scene, because I think this is just where she becomes a complete badass. Now, she's got to go through hell before she becomes a badass. But, oh, the payoff is so awesome. All right, so we see Seras again, except this time she is just her regular self blowing crap up with all these guns. And then something happens to her. Something horrible happens to her where it changes her physically. So just be warned, the page I'm about to show you does show a little bit of a spoiler about Seras. So keep that in mind. If you don't want to see that, just skip to the end. But, alright, here we go. So Seras does change physically, and she becomes this creature of just pure rage, and very much like Alucard, filled with darkness, and she is just ripping through these soldiers. And I love the way that these splash pages are done. I marked this one with my ribbon. And Berserk also has the ribbon. I go on and on about ribbons, so I figured I didn't talk about it this time. But this is the way that splash pages are done. You have the panel breaks in the middle, so you can see it without having to push down on the book at all. But all the splash pages are done that way within this volume of Hellsing. But just look at the rage of just Seras. Oh man, this is the volume right here that hooked me. I was like, okay, I need to find out what happens next. And then Alucard himself also changes. He goes to a brand new level. And, well, that's a big twist, and I don't want to ruin that for anybody. But that does happen towards the end of the book. But let me just show you a couple more pages here of who they're fighting. And some more action shots. And you can probably tell now, and there's Anderson, of course, he has to be in here, because he's teaming up with Hellsing. And again, the translation of the sound effects are usually done within the panels or right outside of the panels. Now let's get to the very back to look at what the extras are. So there are no extra pages, there's no bonus pages like you found at the end of each of the tankobons, the original ones, and the covers are also missing. So I don't know if they will be kept all the way until the end with Volume 3. But this book right here has 646 pages. And I forgot to mention that Berserk has 712. That's why it's a little bit thicker. But that, as they say, is that. Now, when these books become available, don't forget to check out our sponsor,
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. Beginning Thanksgiving morning, visit their bargain bin for Black Friday deals up to 90% off cover price. New items will be added throughout the day and the rest of the holiday season. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
And that was the content and the page count of each of these deluxe editions. Let me know in the comments down below if you're picking each one of these up, what you thought of Hellsing Volume 1, if you're willing to go through Volume 2 to get to this amazing part, what you think of Berserk after the 13th volume, the one that's collected in the 5th deluxe edition, and where the story's going to go from here, and if you're a Berserk fan for life. Let me know all those comments down below. Please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. We can be found on Redbubble and on Patreon, amazing ways to support the channel. More importantly, everybody, please stay healthy, stay safe out there, and much love to all of you.